Yeah, you can use that thing. Wait, do it again. You can use that thing wherever you want. Wait, can I use it? Is that, did you set it as a follower emo or wait. Oh no, I can only use it in your chat. Okay. I'm pretty sure. Subscribers. Okay, it has a little message for me. Subscribers can now use emotes in all channels. So I guess it's just for subscribers. Hi, Holy. Wow. Well, anyway, make sure to. Oh, my emotes got you. My emotes got you. Holy crap! My emotes got approved as well. Fuck. Okay, yeah. There's that one. That's a crying shrimp. And then there's this one. It's a celebrating shrimp. Yoo-hoo! And then there's this one. The animation doesn't happen in the emote wall, but there's this one. It's a dancing celebrating shrimp. And then that's it actually, I think. Oh, and then there's my new sub badge, even though I need to draw 12 of them. Yay, thanks! Woohoo! If you look really closely next to my name, you can see my sub badge, which is a little tomato with legs. And I still need to draw all of the other vegetables with legs that won't come with the other badges, but that is just a matter of time. Well, for all the other ones, actually no, I haven't made one of those ones where you could just redeem one of those commands where you can just redeem the thing for a while, because I think all the other ones are not animated, right? Oh my god, how do I get rid of this? Ah! Chat. It's like not letting me close my profile. But I'm trying to chat. Please go somewhere else. Okay, let's see. I think these are the non-animated ones. Oh, it doesn't. No, it doesn't work because I changed my. Oh my god, I have to turn this off for a moment. Because I changed my default emotes to be able to. Wait, did I get rid of juice too? No, that one still works. Okay. So don't use shrimp until I. Actually, what if I just assigned it to something else? The chat message says L4 shrimp. What's this one called? The one that has a celebrating. I got the dancing one. Alter for shrimpy celebration. That's what I named it. Some long stuff. Shrimpy celebration. Okay, hold up. I'm gonna fry some stuff up for y'all. There we go. There we go. Now everything returns to equal. And now they're both animated. That's fun. Did I have the animated ones before? I don't remember. I don't remember if they were just shrimp or if they were the rotating ones. It's actually pretty funny to me spending my precious emoji slots on 2 different rotating pieces of shrimp, but I am who I am, and that's what's fun. That's what's fun about being me. Let's do whatever we want and have a really fun time doing it. Yay! Woohoo! Okay, oh my god! Holy, what the heck? Thank you! That's really sweet of you! Congrats, Bug! I think you're the... Oh no, Turtles is here too. I was trying to check who's in the chat. Yeah, guys, don't spend it all in one place and make sure to use all the privileges that it conveys, like getting that little tomato next to your name. Yay! Clap, 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 clap. Oh, and you got the little bear. Yeah, I don't know how that works. That's the default one. Anyway, I'm gonna take a quick check on. So today's agenda is, I think we have both of the tea parties. Boss, I like that. Don't worry, I'm a kind manager. So we didn't play the episode 2 tea party, either the normal one or the special one. So let's do both of those. Last time it was a bit short, so I ended up playing a bunch of the second episode after that, but we'll see if that's a good idea or not. Who knows? Maybe it'll go super long, maybe it'll go short. I did kind of like it having, I think it's a bit better being in a separate, like, episode / recording, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, and how, let me know how the sound is. I have my eyes on these little green bars, but, you know, you guys are the ones listening to it, so. Okay. Rosa awoke from her doze. It must have been a very deep sleep. Her mind was hazy and she wasn't thinking clearly. Where is this? It felt like some mansion, but it didn't seem to be the Ushiromiya mansion. She could see a room that looked like a parlor, and there was some tea that had been prepared. It had probably been made for her. Around the room, some glitter that looked like gold leaf drifted about, making the scene look quite fantastical. When she eventually realized that they were gold butterflies, it further strengthened that impression. There was someone across from her. A woman. A lady. It was the portrait's witch. She seemed to be having a one-sided conversation. She was probably talking to Rosa, but Rosa, whose mind was clouded up by a deep fog, didn't have a clue what was being said. Choose whatever you please. If there's anything you want, I'll give it all to you. You can think of it as a reward for your good luck, or also as proper compensation for how you've answered to my demands. It may have been a truly trivial matter from your perspective, however, the deal was important enough to me to be deserving of this reward. What is she talking about? I don't know. It's just that I am very much a witch. Perhaps you'd best ask for something only a witch can give you. What a rare chance this is, to actually receive the favor of Beatrice the Golden, me. Finally, Rosa started to feel the blood flowing through her body. Her movements were still sluggish, and she couldn't even voice the words she was thinking. I am commonly called the Golden Witch. Bestowing a mountain of gold like the one I gave Kinzo is trivial to me. After all, you can measure all the pleasures of the human world with money. Therefore, gold is no more or less than the manifestation of the human world's pleasures. Can you imagine it? A mountain of gold that you couldn't use up as long as you lived? As the witch blew on her pipe, multicolored smoke enshrouded their surroundings. As she did this, the insides of the parlor was suddenly filled with stacks of gold ingots. It looked like a shining gold-colored wall. If each ingot was worth several 10 million yen, how much would all of this be worth? It seemed sinful to even think of such a number. However, the human world is difficult. I know there are some things that cannot be settled, no matter how high in the sky you pile up gold. I know there are cracks that cannot be filled. I won't make light of that, which is why this is a gift that only a witch such as I can give. Why don't I fill those cracks in for you? Yes, how about this? It's something only I can give. You should be very happy. No need to thank me out loud. I can tell right away. It's written on your face and in the corners of your heart. Rosa felt a touch of discomfort at this witch, who kept on talking even though Rosa hadn't uttered a single word. But since she still couldn't manage to speak and was so helpless that it was difficult to even move a finger, she couldn't do anything but listen. How far must the deep wounds in your heart recede before they can be healed? This is deep, quite deep indeed. Sometimes wounds close up while a fragment of foreign matter remains inside. Even when such wounds appear to have healed, they continue to throb for all eternity. Sometimes you have to open the wound once more in order to heal it completely. As the witch spoke, she stared deep into Rosa's eyes. What in the world was she peering at? Rosa felt uncomfortable, but she couldn't look away. So your pain was already faded by the time of your birth. How heartbreaking. You don't have to say it. I understand. I understand. Rosa was gradually being sucked into the witch's eyes. Then the world grew dark, spinning round and round as she was sucked in. Rosa, Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, that's Kraus Nissan's voice. Kraus Nissan is a real adult, so he's very smart. So he hated the stupid kid, Rosa. He was a very scary person. I was often hit, and my toys were taken from me and broken. I was apparently being punished for something bad I'd done, but I never really understood what it was or why I was being punished. I was always punished suddenly and then later told what the punishment was for in a forced manner, but it was always something I didn't remember doing. So I really hated Kraus Nissan. Rosa, Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, that's Eva Nesan's voice. Eva Nesan is a real adult, so she's very smart. So she hated the stupid kid, Rosa. She was always a very sly person, and she often lied to me, tricked me, and bullied me all the time. Apparently I was stupid, and she said it was only natural for stupid people to be swindled by those smarter than them. So I wanted to become a wise person like Eva Nesan and listen to what she said, but when I obeyed her for some reason, someone always got really mad at me. So I really hated Eva Nesan. Rosa, Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, that's Rudolph Nissan's voice. Rudolph Nissan really knows how to get things done. So he hated the stupid kid, Rosa. When Kraus Nissan was around, he would be friendly with Kraus Nissan. When Eva Nissan was around, he would be friendly with Eva Nissan. And when Kraus Nissan wasn't around, he would be violent like Kraus Nissan. And when Eva Nissan wasn't around, he would play dirty like Eva Nissan. And even though he was also bullied most of the time, when Kraus Nissan and Eva Nissan went around, he gave me 2 people's worth of bullying. So I really hated Rudolph Nissan. Oh, but those were my memories from when I was a kid. It's common for unfair things to happen between kids, and you mustn't hold on to grudges for such things forever. With time, those memories get buried away, and forgetting them bit by bit is supposed to be a part of growing up and becoming an adult. So becoming an adult is the same as separating yourself from all those memories. And because of that, no matter how much time passed, Rosa couldn't become an adult. Even though she had been blessed with a daughter called Maria and was called a mother, she didn't at all feel like she had become an adult. The witch pitied her for that, and she smiled, saying that she could heal that pain herself. How can I heal you? It's possible, but not easy. I might rewind time and giving you a world where you have no older siblings. But that way, your memories of being hurt by your older siblings wouldn't remain. And in that sense, while you might call it a gift, you wouldn't be able to accept it. A person is only satisfied when their starvation is healed, But if you make it so that they never starved in the first place, none of them will thank you. Just like how there are no young people who give thanks for their daily gluttony. Understand? I think she's telling me something really complicated. In short, even if she makes it so I never had older siblings, that wouldn't remove my pain. Maybe that's what she's saying. Strictly speaking, that's not quite right. Healing isn't the same thing as removing pain. It's the pleasure we earn as compensation for withstanding pain. Therefore, removing the pain isn't healing. To know the joy of healing, you have to know the pain. Which means you must know joy in order to compensate you for your pain. You should be proud of your past sufferings. After all, they are what make it possible for you to know pleasure like those without pain will never experience. Those who experience this pleasure cannot help but pass on the same joy to others. When the witch snapped her fingers, even though the room was still filled with a mountain of gold and had already lost all semblance of reality, a fabulous tablecloth appeared on top of the table, and a wonderful meal was laid out, almost as though it was the opening of a banquet in a castle from some fairy tale. For an instant, Rosa truly did feel a pleasurable surprise at how fabulous it was, but at the same time, she felt a bit of an anticlimax. After all, she didn't think being bullied by her siblings could be wiped away by just one meal, no matter how delicious. Food is the source of many human pleasures. You simply must eat like a pig as long as you live. If one meal isn't enough, then have as many as you want. Until the pain of your heart is healed, why not continue this gourmet banquet? Begin it, furniture. As the witch clapped twice, there were suddenly 2 goat-head servants there, and they began to prepare the meal. From the beautiful dishes adorning the table, they efficiently took some food and began to pile it up on Rosa's plate. It really did look delicious, but Rosa's body still felt as heavy as lead, and there was no way she'd be able to eat. Maybe they also understood that. The goat-head servants tied a napkin around Rosa's collar and gallantly brought a glass of before-dinner alcohol to her mouth, tilting it for her. She remembered an old servant who had once carried rice porridge to her mouth when she was laid up with a high fever. She couldn't drink it well and it dripped down from her mouth, but she felt the fragrant sweetness spread throughout her mouth. It's a sweet aperitif of noble wrought German-made wine, a wine cocktail of white wine mixed with a crimson golden drop. If I had to give it a name, I'd call it a bloody Kraus, soaked with just a golden drop of your brother's blood that was squeezed out of a compressor. Rosa coughed violently, and the bright red that stained her face made it look as though she had coughed up blood. You know a lot about black tea, so you should know what it means, right? Golden drop refers to the last drop in a drink. It is called the most precious drop in black tea. So a golden drop of blood is the same, the last and most precious drop of blood squeezed out of a human. We squeeze it using that. As the witch snapped her fingers, a bright red veil that had been set up before something large was removed. The solemn and massive machine there was just like a coffin for a large-sized person with many large bulb-like things stuck to it, and it looked like a sinister torture device. By its unnerving shape, she could tell that with a human strength it could be used to tighten and compress something, and it seemed that there were still some squeezed dregs remaining because of the bright red remains that stained it. But you can't take more than one golden drop at once. No matter what kind of human you take it from, you can't get more than one drop. But I am a witch. Reviving a person is easy for me. When the witch snapped her fingers, the human compressor suddenly began to shake. No, she could also hear a groan. It looked almost as though someone sleeping in that man-sized coffin had woken up and was now struggling to get out. But that was wrong. What was inside definitely had been squeezed to dregs. Using her magic, the witch had once again revived the squeezed dregs to how they'd been before they were squeezed. 3 goat-head servants with muscular physiques approached the compressor. and forcefully started tightening the large bulb. As they did, an unearthly moan came from inside the coffin. Rosa thought she knew the owner of that voice. It is fitting for cooking to be done in the kitchen. Enough, stand back. Do you understand how precious a golden drop is? To have it stained this crimson requires that several dozen people's worth be squeezed. The witch definitely said that only one golden drop could be taken from a single human, and yet she had dozens of people's worth of golden drops from a single human. Only a witch could do this. The golden witch Beatrice could kill a single human endlessly. In other words, before Beatrice, even death did not mean freedom. Do you need me to put it a different way? Have you forgotten the day this man hit you, when you swallowed the blood that ran into your mouth? That's right. Remember that taste. Remember the taste of the tears that you spilled until you were dry? I believe this aperitif will be sufficient to heal that regrettable memory. Once again, the goat-head servants tilted a deep red glass against her mouth. Rosa tried resisting by closing her lips, but the deep red liquid was relentlessly poured into her mouth, which hung open with shock. And the inside of her mouth was filled with a ghastly sweetness. It definitely was a fragrant sweetness. The living blood of her brother, who had given her such hateful thoughts and made her soak her pillow so many times, had been collected from his death, repeated dozens of times. How could the crimson-stained wine not be sweet? But Rosa tried to spit it out. Because of that, the deep red wine that spilled out of Rosa's mouth looked just like a blood stain. Now that she knew what this ghastly substance wasn't a simple aperitif, Rosa couldn't help but feel uncomfortable about what would happen if this banquet continued. That is a double-tongued salad made from vegetables in season. On your 9th birthday, you made a wish that someday you'd get to chew this to bits, this salad made from Ava's tongue. When Rosa heard the true nature of the pink-colored meat piled up on the salad, she had a sudden impulse to vomit her guts out. Furthermore, the goat servant stuck a fork in it and carried it to Rosa's mouth. How does your double-tongued sister taste? It must be quite soft and enchanting, right? It probably would be quite sweet, soft, and enchanting in her mouth. After all, Ava's lies were always sweet, and young Rosa had always listened to them. And you might say the stimulating pepper seasoning expressed the truth behind those lies well. As the tongue salad that kept being pushed into Rosa's mouth was coated with saliva, she spat it out. But the ghost-head servants carefully returned it to the plate and carried it to Rosa's mouth over and over again. It goes without saying, but I made this salad liberally using 5 of Ava's tongues. You can't get more than 1 tongue out of a person, but I can get them over and over. As Rosa's tears dripped down, she resisted frantically. However, the only way she could resist was by refusing to swallow. Even if she didn't swallow it, the taste of the French dressing increasingly permeated Rosa's mouth. Does it not please you? There's lots more. Sea bass pie wrapped in the skin of Rudolph's face, soup with boiled brains, liver pate, and look forward to dessert. It's not just your siblings, see? I've lavishly assembled all those whom you have trusted and yet by whom you were betrayed. Why don't we continue this banquet for all eternity until your heart is satisfied? For all eternity. You're happy, right, Ushiromiya Rosa? Don't pretend you hate it. I know that you're actually happy, okay? If you want to laugh, then do so. And if you won't feel better until you've heard a raw performance of your annoying older sibling's screams, I'll let you hear them as much as you like. Fear not, your reluctance doesn't trouble me. That's just your personality, right? On the inside, you're actually so happy that your skin is crawling all over. And yet, on the outside, you're merely pretending that all this causes you pain, yes? It's alright. Here, there's no need to worry about honor or your public image or anything. So laugh as much as you want and chew it to bits. Isn't this the best banquet, Oshiramiya Rosa? Please, stop. Oh, I'm so sorry. I wanted to leave dessert as a surprise, but let me reveal it now anyways. Maybe that will be enough incentive for you to eat up the whole course. Your dessert is that beloved daughter that you had to keep pretending to love. Oven-baked Maria with apples. Doesn't that sound yummy? Once you eat this, you'll be released from everything. Freedom, you see. Freedom. Finally, Rosa will gain freedom as an individual person. Aren't you happy? You should be happy. Drool is hanging from your mouth. Just try looking in a mirror. Suddenly, a muscular goat cook was holding Maria under his arm, and Maria gazed at Rosa with a face that was only slightly sad. Mama, was I a burden? No, you aren't a burden. No. As Rosa spat out the food that was continually being carried to her mouth. As she was covered with filth and saliva and blood, she resisted filthily and screamed. If you think I'm a burden, I don't mind if you eat me. After all, I'm always doing horrible things to you. Even when you bring a man over, I can't stay quiet. When you spend the night out with a man, I get lonely and unruly and make a mess of my room. When I go to search by myself, I get lost. The police pick me up and you're shamed. When you don't come home for several days and I cry and have to be consoled by the neighbors, you're shamed. Because I'm like this, I'm a burden to Mama. Sorry for being born. So I'll become delicious oven-baked apples for Mama's sake. And then maybe Mama will be happy I exist for the first time. Maybe she'll eat me and think I'm delicious. Isn't it delicious? Be choked up with tears of gratitude. Your daughter is saying this much for you, right? Oven-baked apples and your beloved daughter make for the best dessert. You've managed to raise such delicious ingredients. Aren't you the best mother, Ushiramiya Rosa? Mama, thanks for everything. Bye-bye. Wait, Maria, that's wrong. Stop it already. I didn't want something like this. Please, stop. Please forgive me. No, stop it already. Don't put it in my mouth. Have you been satisfied with my hospitality? Then I'll have you accept it. That I am a witch. Proclaim it. Ushiramiya Rosa accepts that Beatrice is a witch. I accept it. Ushiramiya Rosa accepts that Beatrice is a witch. So give Maria back. Release me. I finally made you acknowledge it. That crafty battler has already surrendered, and I made Rosa the fool who denied me even after being invited to the Golden Land accept it. Perfect! It's perfect! I've accomplished my perfect victory. Come, bring Maria. Prepare a delicious oven roast for Rosa. It looks delicious. Slice up your cow tits and make me a sandwich. What? What? That voice! An arm grabbed the back of the witch's head and smashed her face into the table. As it did, the witch broke into pieces, turned into a cloud of gold butterflies, and reformed into her body a short distance away. Battler? You bastard. I thought you'd surrendered so far that even your soul was furniture. Me too, but while I was listening to that gross recipe, I started to get a little hungry. Now I feel like eating a whole roast witch. I know. Have some decorum. And Maria, it's 10 years too early for you to talk about having someone eat you up. But in 10 years, you'd better say, you sing out. You'd better say that to me. Promise. Promise. You sick freak. With the cousin chair. Sorry to keep you waiting, Aunt Rosa. I've forgotten. This is a one-on-one fight between me and this woman. It's totally wrong for me to give in. Thanks to you hanging in there, I've gotten my will to fight back. This person, he gave up down to the depths of his soul and surrendered to me, didn't he? I see, he doesn't know when to give up, just like what I expect from Ushirumi Akinzo's grandchild. So the chick of a phoenix is a phoenix after all. How dashing, how amusing. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have you any other way, battler. Try to deny me. I'll completely and thoroughly smash you to bits. Let me make you surrender over and over again. I'll teach you, one who has licked my shoes, the taste of defeat over and over again. No problem. I'll teach you that I, Ushirumi Battler, am a man who can stand up even after crawling through the mud. I've never been invincible in a fight. I've lost loads of times, but I'll definitely crawl through the mud and stand up again, and then I'll finish this. In a man's fight, you don't lose until you accept defeat, no matter how much you get beat up. Don't think I'm out just because you took a shot at me. I'll give you a good show, Beatrice. I'll accept your challenge, Ushirumi Battler. Furniture, begin preparations for the next game. While we're waiting, why don't you tell me all about it? There are a lot of closed rooms in this game. Using red, I've smashed to bits most of the methods by which you tried to talk yourselves out of them. What other evasive quibbles will you show me now? The lock to the chapel, the lock to Jessica's room, the lock to the servant room, the lock to Natsuhi's room, the lock to the parlor. Use your bizarre specialty, those delusions, rantings, daydreams, and bluffs all slanted with ridiculous, incredible turns of events, and show me how you can thoroughly deny me. It's useless. It's all useless. But here, what do you got? Like, totally beat up and dragged around naked and eaten by goats and stuff, so... You can't be talking like that, little battler. No, there is no nude spray for battler. I'm sorry. It can maybe be said that that's the point where he's so turned into furniture that he isn't even portrayed as a sprite anymore. Or you could say that it's just because they didn't want to come up with a nude sprite. Hi, V! Wow, you came just in time. Or you commented just in time. I thought the tea party was longer than this. Maybe we will get roped in for part of episode 3. I'd like to hear how he explains episode 2 as well. Bug, I like that you got the little... Wait, I think maybe you were subbed like 1 month before or something like that. That's why you got the little tomato instead of the little bear. Yeah, I think so. Doesn't the tomato look so cute? It looks like a little bug. It looks like a flea. A flea that's full. Just got finished munching on stuff. But yeah, so... Honestly, I've forgotten a lot of this. Yeah, that sure was a thing that happened. I say this about a lot of the characters, but I mean, Rosa definitely is one of my favorite characters. Oh, I got a big banner that says sub goal met. What does that mean? I mean, I know what that means, but like... Wow, me, thank you for the resub! Wow! Thank you, thank you! Now, I don't actually know what happens. I think they just increase the number to the next goal, right? Yeah, I'm gonna get busy drawing the rest of them too. Should I change all of them to the tomato while I'm busy drawing the rest? I think I should. I'll do that today. I mean, yeah, like Rosa never had a chance. Her siblings are just so like brutal. Poor guy. Wow. Even though I don't know. I wish Twitch would hand me like... They should hand me like a present for that. Thanks to all of you. I got a pat on the back. Okay, yeah, we just rolled all the credits, so you didn't miss much. Oops, 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 oops. Alright. Now let's see what all the other guys have to say about that. I like that Rosa was just like abandoned. Beatrice just immediately started doing something else. It's like, I don't care anymore. Well then, did you find that game enjoyable? When a game's that one-sided, it goes beyond riveting and becomes boring. My, but you're as harsh as always. Considering how proud I was to have created development so impactful that it might satisfy even the boredom-hating Lady Baron Castal, his response is quite harsh. Well, I'd admit it was impactful. However, it was horrible as a fair game. Unless you make the conditions a bit more even. Are you saying there's no way to win? Not even for Lady Baron Castal? I wonder what you mean by that, Beto. There's no need to try and fool me. I already know that you're no bystander. Were you planning on hiding it? You're an outrageous person to come into someone else's territory from such a great distance to work against them. You came to watch from the sidelines and probably to push strongly for my defeat. I've guessed right, haven't I? Beto only wants to bully Battler, which is understandable. And if so? Truly amusing. That I should be granted a chance to fight against Lady Baron Castal, the strongest of witches who defeated Lady Lambda Delta, is truly a pleasure. Yes, I'm also pleased. I came all this way because I really wanted to see you, brimming with confidence, fall apart and lose. What an honest person. Even so, it would be a shame if the contest between me and the great Lady Baron Castal was resolved without at least one observer. You called her here, didn't you? That kid. What kid? Is it Lambda Delta? Yeah! Higurashi heads. Guess who this is? I found you. I finally found you, Baron Castal. How are you, Lambda? Looks like you've got lots of spare time, too. I wonder if it's fate that the pair who hates boredom should run into each other again. Stupid kid. Didn't you see you only won against me because of a little luck and a problem of compatibility? After that, you became such a brag, and now you're even picking a fight with Beatrice? Shouldn't you learn your place? Beatrice is strong, and she's even more brutal than I am. Just a bit. And by the way, don't go shortening people's names without their permission. You're dumb too, Beato. If this kid's in your game, she'll make a mess of everything. I certainly didn't just bring Lady Lambda Delta here to watch from the sidelines. After informing me that you were betting against me, she said that she would bet against you. You're still holding a grudge, aren't you? Because I'm the strongest witch in the universe. But I lost to you, which means I'm not the strongest. So, any enemy of yours is my ally. And there you have it. With the great Lady Berncastel as our opponent, this may not even count as a handicap, but it should make for good entertainment. Do as you like. Now that I've been exposed, allow me to get serious. It would be well. Going easy has never been written in my dictionary. Lady Lambda Delta, let us enjoy our precious time together. Yeah, I'll be counting on you, Lady Beatrice. I've been betrayed pretty bad by her, too. Until the two of us smash her up and pay her back double, I won't be able to rest. I'll be counting on you, Lambda. And you, Beto. No matter what we fight over, this will be a very significant battle for us all. That's right. Of course, I don't plan on losing, but we've got a goal beyond who wins and who loses. After all, we hate boredom. The three witches giggled, cackled, and guffawed. That's right. I should thank you, Beto. It looks like I'll finally be able to escape my boredom. Do your best to entertain me, along with Lambda Delta. Leave it to me. If we're decided, Beto, then let's start a strategy meeting right now. I know all this girl's weak points, and I'll teach you all of them. And yeah, Lady Lambda Delta, you were defeated by her. I won't tell you. I won't tell you. She's never boring, that Lady Lambda Delta. Isn't she? Take care of her. She gets lonely easily. I see. So she's one of those that are popular these days. As expected from Lady Lambda Delta. Quite cutting edge. Go already. That kid's waiting for you to chase after her. Then if you'll excuse me. See you next game. I'm sorry. That troublesome one came, but don't mind it. More importantly, things sure got ugly. Thought I experienced a very tragic end in Lambda's game, but this one is exceptionally horrible. I can't say I don't understand why you're hugging your knees and closing up your heart. If you meet a fate like that a few more times, it'll take a lot less than 100 years to kill your heart. Peto saw through me, so I'll confess. You are now just like I was in the past when I was imprisoned inside Lambda's world, shut inside a labyrinth of cruel fate, tormented by a witch, in a manner of speaking. I'm a witch who was born from there, so maybe I'm like an older sister to you. So I decided that I'd lend you my power. However, even compared to my fate, yours is truly brutal. Not only do I sympathize with you, I'm almost brought to tears by your tragic fate. But please, don't lose heart. Please don't submit to Beto no matter what. Certainly, that child's game is quite unfair. I've only been allowed a glimpse of the game board, but the unfair and clever devices set up on the stage are so disgusting that I imagine they far surpass those on Lambda Delta's game board. And what's even more frightening is that when that kid moves a piece, she doesn't always make the best possible move. This is where she's very different from that Lambda. Lambda always uses an overpowering number of pieces to make the best possible move in order to win. But Beto sometimes intentionally goes easy on her opponent when she moves her pieces. Since when we're in trouble, we try to seek out our opponent's strategy by looking at their moves. This creates a very formidable amount of noise in our information. That might cause a troublesome amount of disorder. However, as in chess, though a player might be able to create some noise for their opponent with a useless move, they'll still miss out on the more valuable move they avoided. In other words, it's not like your opportunities to take advantage of this are zero. Although you may not be able to believe it, that analogy holds true for this game as well, even though those developments looked so overpowering. There actually was a weak point that almost looks like she wanted you to take advantage of it. Though, I don't know if it's a trap or if she's testing us. Anyway, don't surrender. Don't stop thinking. Don't deny any possibility. As long as you continue to hold the will to fight, Beto will not win. What's the most important element in defense during a witch's battle? Rather than trying to win, try not to lose. If accepting her means your defeat, then you definitely mustn't accept her, making you accept witches. There's no longer any doubt that this is one of Beatrice's victory conditions. Now that I've announced that I'm your ally, I too will make as great an effort as possible to lend you my power. Make an effort yourself as well. If you're still hugging your knees, quickly stand back up. In times like these, what did I used to say again? Go for it. Yay. Meepa. It's so embarrassing doing this. I've done this much for you, so quickly stand back up. Ah, there you are. I wonder where Burn shrank off to? Could she be any more lame? Even so, just like usual, the pieces Burn chooses are pretty shabby. It's the same with chess, right? If all of your pieces are pawns, you'd have zero chance to win, right? If all of your pieces were rooks and bishops, you definitely wouldn't lose. Well, last time right when I felt a little pity and she said she could start with her pieces anywhere she wanted, that idiot Burn, without taking notice of my compassion, started with all her pawns on my side of the board. What's up with that? That wasn't a loss or anything. Just remembering it makes me queasy. Because of that, I won't be able to rest until I see Burn's speechless face. And since you, Burn's piece, fucked up so bad, I'm feeling just great. Plus, she may not look it, but that girl really hates to lose. So I'll bet she's off somewhere grinding her teeth and crying her eyes out right now. How totally lame. Come on, laugh with me. Ho 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 ho. Wait a sec. Are you still hugging your knees? You already like this just because Beto got a little serious? Could you be any more pathetic? You're so pathetic. I'll help you just a little bit. I, the great Lady Lambda Delta, the Witch of Certainty and the strongest in the universe, will bring your hopelessly low chances of winning just a little bit closer to certainty. You should thank me. You know, Beatrice may be really a cruel and powerful witch, but she's no match for me. Why? Because she's soft. That she'll set up the board in a way that'll let her win with just a few more moves. She'll intentionally avoid cornering you. She'll do things like take worthless pieces and place excess pieces on the board to make things more one-sided. Simply put, she's got the bad habit of playing around as soon as she thinks she's won. Almost all the various attacks that hurt you and Burn look like utter waste and overkill to me. In other words, she's got a weakness, and you've got a chance. See? She isn't an opponent to be afraid of, right? She sometimes mistakes her means for her ends, and she has too much dark fun. Sometimes that even ends up creating and exposing her own weak points. For a super powerful witch like me, it's hard to understand why she's able to act so tough, why she lowers her own chances of winning. But, well, because of that, a witch like Burn, who likes to thoroughly read her opponent, has a really bad affinity with her. Because reading her doesn't work. Maybe it's really easy for Burn to read and handle a straightforward and honest type like me, annoyingly enough. While still, a super firepower type like me can flat out beat up a light, wide-range barrage type like Beatrice, so it's kind of like rock, paper, scissors. If I'm paper, Beto's rock, which means Burn is scissors. Well, maybe that doesn't matter. Even though my paper loses to Burn's scissors, if I was a sheet of super paper, which is way more awesome than normal paper, I could be even scissors, right? Basically, I, Lady Lambda Delta, am super paper. It looks like you've regained a bit of your color. That Beto! She's having fun torturing some piece called Rosa. At a glance, you think she has really nasty tastes, right? Wrong. She's just killing time, hoping that you'll stand back up and return. It's a move to fire up your righteous indignation by intentionally doing something detestable. Ah, I hate kids like that. Anyway, I'll head on back. Ah, don't tell anyone about me helping you out just a little bit. I mean, it's not like I helped you because I wanted to save you, okay? I, the strongest witch in the universe, had my throne stolen away when I lost to Burn. So I've got to take that throne back from her, but if she loses to Beto here, then it's Beto who will get the position of strongest next, right? Oh, it's not like I'm complaining. It'd be easier to steal the throne back from Beto, but then I wouldn't be satisfied, you see? I will defeat Burn. And I'll take back my position as the strongest. It's not like I'm really helping you, okay? I won't forgive you if you make Burn cry. I sense that Ballard was... Also, if I was Battler, I totally understand why he then just materializes into being, and it's like, everyone shut up! Shut up! Oh, what are the new features? I am super paper. Was it was tips though section? Episode 2 tips. Oh, and you can execute them again. Yeah, is this I feel like it's okay to say spoilers for Higurashi now, right? I mean, not necessarily spoilers per se. It's like an integral, I mean, there are spoilers. The spoilers by definition. So, pardon in advance if any of these factoids are incorrect. It's also been a long time since I played Higurashi, and if I do get around to it again on stream, it'll be a while. It'll be some time. I read a bit of whatever adaptations I had. I watched most of the animes. I think there are even anime arcs that came out after I had finished watching it for the whole time. Yeah, that's true. That's my plausible deniability. But I did, so what do I remember? I know for 100% fact that I at least read the first chapter of Higurashi. And between the chapters, there's sometimes a bit of a poem from Lady Berncastel. And that would be the Berncastel that we just met. We just had the pleasure of making the acquaintance of. I guess she showed up last episode too, but so a bit of the concept of Berncastel and Lambda both being here is that Rika from Higurashi had such a horrible and traumatic experience, and she's kind of the central figure in a lot of the time loop stuff going on. So the concept is that she had such a traumatic experience that a witch was born of that, and then went toe-to-toe with Lambda Delta on her game board in the universe of Higurashi. And I don't think that's explicitly discussed in Higurashi, though I might be wrong. But to follow the themes of like the witch's game here, they both show up. Rika alike as Berncastel, and Takanomio alike as Lambda Delta. Both of them having had experienced some really dark events through the course of Higurashi. Now, Sir Terrier, that's an interesting thing to point out, isn't it? I don't have anything to say about that yet. And if you execute him... Okay, let's... Yeah, oh, wait. Yeah, we can go through what happened for this one. So... wait. This isn't what happened. I mean, this is what happened, but we don't know what happened to him in the last episode, so... Missing, he finally reached the Golden Land he so desired to see. However, since a fool was unwilling to accept it, the magic was wasted once again. Even so, he was probably happy. After all, he managed to be reunited with the Golden Witch, if only for a brief time. Afterwards, he was crushed to bits and eaten by demons and went to hell. Yeah, actually that is what happened at the end of the last session. Nanjo... died in the servant room, his throat sliced open by a sharp blade or something similar. However, this alone isn't enough. Beatrice. The mysterious visitor and 19th person who appeared on the day of the family conference. She goes by the same name as the Golden Witch who gave the gold to Kinzo. Her reasons for visiting are unknown. She was ushered into the VIP room, which no one has been allowed to use in the past. Her execution line. What a useless dream to try and kill me despite being a mere human. Fire your bullets and they will merely reflect back towards you like light off a mirror. However, there does exist just one way to kill me. You hold that method in the palm of your hand, though I doubt one as mediocre as you could ever pull it off. I wonder what it is. Servant Genji missing, selfless furniture seeks nothing but repose in the Golden Land. However, since a fool obstinately rejects the Golden Land, it seems his time of repose is unlikely to come soon. Afterwards, he was torn to pieces and eaten by demons and went to hell. Servant Shannon died in Natsuki's room with her forehead pierced by a weapon shaped like a stake. At the fourth twilight, gouged the head and kill. She spent her last moments with her beloved. It's my beam sword. Kraus. His corpse was found in the chapel. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems his stomach was cut open and his intestines pulled out after his death. On top of that, sweets and candies were packed into his stomach. Welcome, Maria. Happy Halloween. I think we read these ones already. This and that about candy. Oh, we didn't read Rose's yet, which is that missing in the Golden Land, she finally found a treasure more precious than gold. However, it only lasted a brief time. Because of a fool, she was forced to once again lose what she had finally found. Afterwards, she was chewed into a pulp by demons and went to hell. Well, Shannon has a beam shield. As of this. As of what we've seen so far. Servant Canon, the witch erased his corpse for fun. That alone caused an incredible uneasiness among the survivors. If that witch exists, resides in the human world, then that which does not truly exist is fantasy. Fantasy takes the form of what they fear. I don't recall if Genji has a beam, so I guess that means we'll find out together. Okay, these guys all got munched up at the banquet. Goda was staked. Jessica was, oh yeah, Jessica was stabbed in the back with Cannon, and then Cannon's corpse was disappeared. George died in Natsuki's room with his stomach pierced by a weapon shaped like a stake. He died with, Shannon, I believe. Oh, here's a point that had been discussed in the text, but wasn't, like, explicitly, or this person wasn't explicitly named. Ushiromiya Battler is the son of Rudolph and his first wife, Asumu. When his father married a second wife shortly after Asumu's death, Battler rebelled and went to live with his grandparents on his mother's side. However, both of these grandparents passed away, and he was now returned to the Ushiromiya family after 6 years. This family conference is a chance for him to renew his friendship with his cousins after a 6-year gap. No luck. Missing. He did surrender to the witch at one point, but he pulled himself together and regained his will to fight. I see, so. To witches, Battler makes a great toy for smashing. That explains why she's always breaking him, fixing him, and then breaking him again. Torture is meaningless if you kill the subject. You've got to alternate between causing pain and letting them rest. Maria missing. In the Golden Land, she learned that her mother still truly loved her. At least for now, she's satisfied. And yeah, Kumasawa was also... Oh, right, Kumasawa and Nanja were knifed by the not canon guy. You mean like this? Let me just, I always feel bad when I don't put them back after. Well, that was pretty short. That only took like an hour. I'm not tired yet, so why don't we just start episode 3? Yeah? Yeah? The story is very obviously fictional and fantastic in nature. Yeah. No, this really happened. Once I start reading, I will probably remember what the general vibe of this episode is, but we'll see. The vase was very beautiful, rich with history and value. Even as young as I was, it was still forced me to take a deep breath when I witnessed its beauty. Of course, it was a member of Grandfather's favorite collection. So that I didn't accidentally destroy its fragile beauty, I was always given strict orders never to touch it. But that just made me want to touch it. It looked light and yet so elegant that just glancing at it gave it an indescribable sense of dignity. I wanted to see what it felt like to touch a vase like that. However, just as Grandfather had said, it was a thing that shouldn't be touched. Something this beautiful should never be touched. Such beauty can only dwell in something so easily broken. Because of that, just the brush of a finger by someone like me would... Just like how a fun dream disappears with a poof when you wake up, it disappeared, fell, and broke into pieces. I realized that because of my own foolish curiosity, I had done something that couldn't be taken back. No matter how much I regretted it, no matter how much I apologized, the broken vase would not be returned to its original form. Grandfather will probably scold me, probably very harshly. I ended up breaking into tears and sobbing, frightened. As I did, I noticed something beautiful. Lightly dancing golden butterflies were coming towards me. As mysteriously glowing golden dots shone in the air, the butterflies began to gather one at a time. Oh, it's Beatrice! Beatrice, that reliable golden witch, had arrived. The butterflies kept gathering until they formed a cloud, and then she was there. She was always there for me. Whenever I was in trouble, she'd always appear and save me. Good day to you, princess. Beatrice! Oh my. Why are you crying so, and on a day so well suited for a tea party? I broke Grandfather's precious vase. Wow, Grandfather's gonna get mad at me. I don't know what to do. I see. That is worrying. The master really treasured this particular vase, didn't he? Oh, imagining how he'll punish you scares even me, Beatrice. Me? Beatrice. Sorry. I didn't think it was Beatrice talking to Beatrice right now. Grandfather was a very frightening person, and when you failed to follow something he said even once, he would become so mad with a rage that would make even the fallen angels in hell quiver. Since I knew that down to my bones, I couldn't do anything but tremble and cry. I possess no magic that can scoop up your fallen tears, princess, but if you need magic that will prevent the master from scolding you, I might be able to manage something. Really? Yes, if you'll be gracious enough to believe in my power, princess. The power of belief is the source of magic. Miracles only appear before those of great faith. I believe in your power, Beatrice. So please fix this vase. Please. If that is what you want, princess, then leave it to me, Beatrice. When she extended her index finger, a golden butterfly softly landed there and changed its form into her favorite cane. But even that was enough to give me a small glimpse at Beatrice's wonderful and awesome magic power. She pointed her cane at the broken vase and, just like a child's lullaby, she began speaking the magic words. Come, try closing your eyes and try to remember. What form did you have? It was surely a very, very beautiful form. Please, show me that form one more time. Were they words or was it a song? No, it had to be magic. After all, can't you see? The pieces of the vase are rapidly gathering together, gently returning to the place where they'd been on display, reassembling into their original form. Incredible! See? Now it's back to normal. This way you won't have to get yelled at by the master. Now isn't that interesting? So who's that, Beatrice? Beatrice, you really are amazing. You can fix broken vases like it's nothing. That's not true. Returning something broken to its original form is a very, very difficult thing to do. My magic can only make it remember what it once was for a short time. But the vase really turned back to the way it was, right? Correct. But that doesn't mean the vase has avoided its fate of being broken. All I did was temporarily get the broken vase to remember its form before it broke. I have not yet attained the high levels of magical power that might be used to restore a broken fate to its original form. At that time, the high-pitched scream of a servant could be heard from inside the mansion. When I went to see what had happened, I noticed that several of the servants had gathered and were cleaning up the remains of the broken vase. From what they said, it seemed a black cat had sneaked in from somewhere and climbed up on the vase, causing it to break. I understood the meaning of Beatrice's words. At the moment I broke the vase was broken. Beatrice let me see the vase being restored, but that was a temporary thing. It didn't mean she'd changed the fate of the vase being broken. And so, the vase remembered its true fate and broke. However, the one who broke it wasn't me, but a cat that had snuck in. That's right. Beatrice never said, "Let's fix the vase." She said she'd prevent the master from scolding me. The fate of the vase breaking hadn't changed, but the fact that I broke it certainly has. Beatrice cleverly saved me from danger with that magic. It is very easy to break something. After all, you didn't need magic to break that vase, Princess. Then, is fixing stuff really hard? It is. It's so hard that you broke down crying, unsure of what to do. Does that mean magic is easier to use when doing terrifying things? That breaking and killing is really easy, but fixing and reviving things is really hard? That's right. With magic, it is far easier to break and kill. That's why weak witches lose to temptation and become intoxicated with gathering easy power from themselves, neglecting their true magical training. Real magic is the power to repair, to revive, to summon happiness that has disappeared, to summon love that has grown cold, and it can even summon a smile to the face of a princess who has forgotten how. Then, Beatrice, since you managed to fix that vase, does that mean you're an incredible witch? My days of training are far from over. After all, I couldn't make that vase forget its fate for even an hour. I'm sure my teacher, who taught me magic, would have been able to restore the vase to its original form forever. So if it kept breaking and breaking, she'd be able to fix it over and over again? Yes. When one reaches that level, they are considered to be an endless witch. That's the endless level that all witches ought to reach. We offer the utmost respect to those witches and call them by that title. An endless witch. That's right. To witches with the power to mend things endlessly, the concept of breaking doesn't even exist. They are released from all the sadness caused by losing things and are promised eternal bliss. Certainly, the human world is full of sadness caused by separation and loss. To escape that sadness, people pray to gods and ask for the power to withstand their sadness, believing it to be a test. In other words, a human's life is a journey searching for a way to withstand sadness. In that case, a witch who could revive all things would be freed from all sadness in the world. Simply put, that would mean eternal bliss. I wonder if I could become a witch like you and gain eternal happiness. You, Princess? It is a long, long, difficult path, you see. I want to become a witch. I want to find happiness. Beatrice, I want to become your disciple. Do you have even a trace of doubt in that feeling? No, I want to become a witch too. I understand. Then, until you get tired of me, I will make you my disciple. Will you call me teacher? Yes, teacher. That's a good answer. Then from now on, learn the depths of magic along with me. I am also in training. Let us both learn the proper use of magic, doing our best to reach that blissful level. Yes, teacher! There are a couple of hints about this Beatrice that I wonder if anyone will pick up on. A dream. That face takes me back. An endless witch, was it? That rank I'd yearned for in the past as the highest possible achievement was now just another one of my titles. No, you may even call it my calling card. Every once in a while, being called that can be quite satisfying. I trained so many days to achieve that rank. It'd be a bit of a waste if I never got a chance to appreciate it. She shook her head lightly. If it's the highest possible level, that means there's nothing higher. An eternal dead end, the beginning of eternal boredom. I remember what teacher told me. When one is released from all sadness, it is the same as eternal bliss. That's what makes me think. That teacher couldn't ever have reached that level. Eternal bliss means eternal boredom, and that's the beginning of eternal torture. But it all depends on how you look at it. Eternal boredom is the same as a sketchbook that doesn't run out of pages. It means you can draw whatever you want, and try to have as much fun as you want. Boredom is the worst sort of poison which kills all witches. Even those great witches who are given the title Lady fear it. It's the eternal poison that tortures them because of the eternal bliss they've reached. Yeah, it seems that Beatrice inherited the Beatrice title from her teacher. Now that I've earned the title of Endless Witch, I truly wish I could speak with teacher again. Is happiness really what lay at the end of our training? And just what is happiness? I wish I could talk with her about that now. Training has no end. When you think you've reached the eternal level, that's exactly the time to bemoan your own immaturity. I recalled those words as though she'd answered me directly. I see, so I'm immature, am I? How amusing. How truly amusing. The sound of painfully shrill laughter rang out. It was coming from my furniture. What? Did they break their toy again? Beatrice-sama, this guy stopped moving again. And I haven't had nearly enough fun yet. What a pathetic man. But I haven't gotten a chance to play at all yet. Let me play. Be silent, filth. If you keep devouring him like starving dogs, of course he'll keep breaking right away, no matter how well Beatrice-sama fixes him up. You broke him the most, Seitan Ni. You just don't know what holding back means. My apologies, Beatrice-sama. Please forgive my stupid little sisters. Fix him quickly. I'm next. Yeah. They've got their chew toy there. Must you keep up that infernal racket? A single yell was all it took to make the noisy sisters of the Seven Stakes vanish. All they do is mess around, having as much fun as they want breaking him. They only come to me to clean up afterwards. Truly, this furniture never leaves me bored. Once the furniture hid themselves, all that remained was a sloppy mess, the last remnants of a broken toy. It had no form anymore. It's hard even for me to remember its original form in this state. Better to make it remember for itself, perhaps. Oh well. I waved my golden pipe. Then I spoke. I chanted. I made it remember. Come, try to remember. What form did you have? After all, right now, you pretty much look like a huge lump of scrap meat. I have no idea which part is your arm and which is your leg unless you remember. I won't even be able to recall your face. By the power of magic, the pitiful pieces of meat began to remember what their form had been. What part should go with which part and where should join with where. That's right, just like that. No, you should be a finger on the left hand. That's the right hand. That's it. Good. Good morning. Have you woken up, Ushiramiya Battler? How ironic that your true nightmare begins after you awaken. If you would just accept that I'm a witch, you'd quickly wake up from this nightmare and I'll send you to heaven. I am the king of Mount Purgatory. There's no escape from this hell without my approval. You call this hell? That's just useless. It's all useless. I'm impressed you can still talk like that after experiencing the pain of death not once like any normal human, but more times than I could count with all of my fingers. This is why I never get bored. I never get bored of you. Yeah, no boredom problem here. After all, I get my pick of those massive tit nachans with the dazzling asses in my harem. Thanks to that, I'm not likely to get bored for a while now. That's splendid. Otherwise, I would get bored too. So, my furniture. I've fixed him so you can play as much as you want. Thank you very much. Yeah, all mine. I told you your turn's over. I'm next. Get away from him. Wonderful, isn't it, Badler-kun? Look how popular you are. Popular guys have it rough. Get in line, freaks. If you just stayed obedient instead of acting tough, this would go much easier. Nah, he's good like this. His screams feel so much better. Okay, let's not break him so quickly this time. Did you all hear me? You aren't running this show. Badler-kun, let's continue where we left off, okay? After they locked Jessica-chan's room with the master key, how did they return the key to the corpse's pocket, which was inside the room? Well, maybe that's it. They used a fishing line or something, sending just the key into that room through the crack of the door. Wrong. So naive. Of all the doors that exist on Rokkenjima, none had a crack through which a key can slip. He was wrong, right? Right? Okay, this time it's me. My turn. Where should I strike? Me, back of the hand. No fair. Okay, then I've got the back of his other hand. I'll take the tip of his nose. Why? Why? Let me do it too. Let me strike too. Don't be so slow, Liviane. We've always done first come, first serve. Okay, I'll take the top of his foot. Me too, me too. I'll take his shoulder, okay? You're sisters, right? Play nice with each other, okay? I can't believe you're still resisting. Haven't you realized that your false courage actually gets us fired up? Sorry, but false courage and being stubborn are my specialties. No matter how you all try to confuse the issues, I definitely won't accept witches and magic. Even though you can't explain anything with humans and tricks. Are you stupid? Know your place. It's okay. We don't have to force him to accept it. Soon he'll want to accept it so hard he'll start crying. Even now, he really wants to kneel down on the ground pitifully and beg our forgiveness. Ah, he's broken already. Beatrice-sama. Oh, well, since they know I can revive him over and over, my furniture won't even hesitate to break him. Good grief. Giving eternal rebirth and eternal death at will, before the endless witch Beatrice. All death in life has no meaning. Even death can become the escape. Even death can't become the key to escape from my cage. Come, Battler, remember your original form again. I'll toy with you to my heart's content, understand? I see, I see. How truly pleasant to have a toy to play with for all eternity. Could this be the endless bliss which is gained at the endless level? I see, I see. Yes, this bliss certainly is amusing. I'll revive you over and over, kill you over and over. Let's see, what kind of murder play will unfold on the next game board? Come, bring it in. Let the next game begin, Ushiromiya Battler. Yeah. Hi, princess! Sorry the heat is bothering you. Let's destroy it. It's time for an ice age. God, I'm hot too. But yeah, every time the game board isn't happening, Battler is being stabbed to death by 7 beautiful women as they try to extract a valid explanation from him about how the sequence of murders happened. I think that this is really all you need for... Yeah, that's what he thinks so too. A Balor pincushion? I would... Oh my god, if he was like a little bean, little Battler bean. If I was more into like felting like a human, I would so totally pull that out right away. Dang. Too bad Aniki hates cigarettes so much. Sorry. She's been pretty grumpy since last night. Please don't hold it against her. Rudolph and Hideyoshi went on the deck and took out some cigarettes. Eva had always hated the smell of cigarettes, but when she was in a bad mood, she got even more sensitive to them. When they decided to smoke casually until they reached the island, the two of them had gotten yelled at and chased out onto the deck. Hideyoshi tried to use his lighter, but the strong winds gave him some trouble. Rudolph took out a Zippo with a smooth gesture and let Hideyoshi borrow the flame. They're doing the thing! I bet they're leaning in closely to each other. Faces close. Just a brother and his in-law. When did you start smoking cigarettes, Hideyoshi Nisan? Just after the war. In the beginning, I was rolling them. Then I started using what I sold. Ha 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 ha. So you're already smoking when you met Aniki. Bet she's always telling you to stop. I never listened to her, so she's already completely given up on that. Men gotta be stubborn in times like these. Yeah. That's right. You are a princess. So kick those people trying to munch on you away. Hideyoshi laughed heartily, but Rudolph snickered. After being scolded by Eva, they'd escaped to the deck together with their tails between their legs. There was little doubt who had gotten her way in that exchange. She isn't usually so short-tempered. In fact, she's usually a more gentle, quiet woman. Every year she changes when this day comes. Is that so? To me, she looks just like the Aniki we've all known so long. That's just it. She's back to being Eva of the Ushiramiya family. But that ain't the Eva I know. Well, I know why she's grumpy. This family conference is gonna be a pain. You got that right. There's that plan to threaten money out of Cross Nissan. We may call it a family conference, but it's just gonna be a sibling fight at this rate. Before the family conference, 3 of the siblings had made a secret pact without Kraus. They were all facing urgent situations and needed a lot of money fast. And the only one they could turn to was Kraus, who spoke for the Ushiramiya head now that Kinza spent his time shut up in his study. For a long time now, they'd vaguely sensed that Kraus was taking advantage of the fact that Kinza had lost interest in his own wealth, and they suspected that he'd started embezzling that wealth to suit his own purposes. Despite being disgusted by this, they turned a blind eye to it while everything was still going smoothly for them, but now that they needed money, they really couldn't afford to let it slide. Yeah, I do really recommend reading this. If you prefer reading to listening, reading it at your own pace is very enjoyable. Eva had asked Rudolph and Rosa to form an alliance, and they were now scheming to take that money away from Kraus. Rudolph-kun, both you and I are company presidents. We're responsible for the livelihood of our employees. Rosa's a president too. Well, as a hobby. That's right, sorry. Basically, we've all got responsibilities. Now that I've thrown down the gauntlet in front of the executive board, I've got to bring in the money, even if it means getting down on my knees or drinking mud. Same here. I can't betray the employees who've trusted me and followed me for so long. That's why I need to get some money out of Krasny-san, even if I have to grab him by the neck. Aniki and Aniki have always been at each other's throats, and now she's got to challenge Aniki head on. No wonder she's on edge. So Eva really has had a bad relationship with Krasny-san since long ago? Hasn't she talked about it? They were always at each other's throats. She never talks about the past, even if I ask. She probably doesn't want to remember. She's always been brainy and shrewd. Her grades were good too. Compared to that, Aniki was just average. The simple fact she existed would have been pressure enough, but she kept boasting about it and driving him into a corner. That fool. Why drive him into a corner so openly? I'd hardly call that shrewd. No kidding. Aniki regretted being born a woman, so she probably couldn't forgive Aniki since he was chosen to succeed the head just because he was a man. She'd always boast to Dad, letting him see that she was better at every little thing. Father really is an old-fashioned person. Gender discrimination was part of his system of values. I'll bet Ava's eagerness to prove herself made him dislike her a bit. Yeah, Ava, for under any other scale of judgment, would have been the more fair successor. She has all of the drive, basically. Wouldn't you say schooling for women is like sugar and black tea? The taste is dull and flat without it, but too much ruins the whole thing. Since you can still drink black tea without sugar, he was in effect saying that there was no need for women to study. Those infuriating words were what Nissan hurled at me in my despair when I asked to go to college only to be denied by father. I protested that I needed to build up proper dignity and an education as the oldest daughter in the Ushiromiya family, making college an essential next step. But when it came down to it, father and Nissan's answers were exactly the same. How conceited for a woman. I've never taken the Ushiromiya name lightly, not once since I was born into it, and I've been even more careful not to take my father's name, Ushiromiya Kinzo, lightly. Our family is an old one, with many traditions, but it lost its wealth and businesses in the Great Kanto earthquake, pushing it to the brink at one point. That was when father took control with his ingenious talent, reviving it to be even greater than it had been before. Not once did I forget that I was the daughter of that great Ushiromiya Kinzo. That's why I always made every effort to become worthy of that name. I needed dignity worthy of the Ushiromiya family, schooling, manners, and leadership. Even if I couldn't quite reach father's level, I deepened my knowledge in economics and finance, trying to improve myself so I could be of use to him at any time. However, in the end, father never acknowledged my efforts. To father, a woman was only meant to support a man, and nothing further than that was permissible. When was it I came to understand that? It may have been as early as my childhood years. But I was going to have to wait until I grew up before I could truly accept it. Compared to me, you couldn't have said that Kraus, my older brother of 2 years, worked hard at all to become deserving of the Ushiromiya family name. He told me many times since my early childhood that he would naturally succeed father simply because he was born a man. He kept on repeating that, though it formed an uncrossable gap between us. I couldn't stand it, even though I always got better grades than Nissan, even though I became class president when he never managed more than vice president. Even so, Nissan was considered to be the appropriate successor to the Ushiromiya family just because he was a man. Of course, you could find gender discrimination everywhere in those days. No, it was even considered a virtue in that era. During that despicable time, people said that when a woman is born, she obeys her parents. When she gets married, she obeys her husband, and when she gets old, she obeys her children. But that was exactly why I wanted to turn that on its head. Innocently, I kept trying to prove that I was the most fit. However, I eventually realized that all my efforts had been doomed since the beginning. Wouldn't you say schooling for women is like sugar in black tea? The taste is dull and flat without it, but too much ruins the whole thing. What do you mean by that, Nissan? Just as there are roles that only men can fill, there are also roles that can only be filled by women, correct? I do believe giving birth to children, raising them, and supporting the master of the house are roles that can only be filled by women. Are you trying to say that there's no need for a woman to work or study? I wouldn't go that far. Talking to an unschooled woman is tiring and nothing more. However, women are even more tiring when they're too smart. I do believe that a woman as violently assertive as you would bring no end of hardship to her future husband. Are you trying to say that a woman has to marry and hide in the shadow of a man? Of her husband? That's none of your business. Though you're my younger sister, I can look up to you for the respect you hold for father and your desire to become a daughter worthy of him. Even I am capable of feeling respect for such noble sentiments. That's just disgusting. What's this about noble sentiments? I'd call that flowery prose coming from you. Are you pretending to be the head already? The decision that I should succeed the headship has been established from the very beginning, and yet you seem to be laboring under the illusion that you might become the head, hence the useless and reckless efforts you've expended thus far. Reckless efforts? Is it really that bizarre for me to say I want to go to college? Yes, it is bizarre. You undoubtedly are the oldest daughter of the glorious Ushiromiya family. One day, you will support that family crest by being wed to the partner most valuable for father. However, excessive learning is not what's being asked of you. What you need are gentle feelings that will allow you to care for your husband, the ability to handle housework, and a humble demeanor that will reflect well on the master of your household. These are all skills you lack utterly. In the end, can you really call yourself a suitable daughter of the Ushiromiya family? I have no intention of being some secluded lady. I just want to become the person most capable of assisting father at his work. Then shouldn't you do so in a manner befitting an Ushiromiya family daughter? What is it with you? You're still mannish even at your age, and you've never learned how to wear makeup in a way that will please men, much less how to cook and do housework. I hear you've even been learning how to brawl. That's rude! The martial arts aren't brawling, they're a perfect way to train and discipline the mind. And when it's needed, I take more than enough care to act as a woman should. What are you trying to say? That women should be slaves who work for men, so I mustn't be so forward? It is elegant to say it out loud, but I think a few unpleasant words are necessary in order to correct your mistake. So let me say it plainly. Women exist to serve men, and men exist to provide for women. A woman's job is to protect a man's back, to protect his house, and raise his children. Most women realize this without being told. They realize it on their own. But even after all these years, you still haven't realized that about yourself. So I decided to clear away that misunderstanding for you before you leave this family. You ought to thank me. This is an insult to all women. No, wait. I would have never thought of myself as a woman, and I've never depended on anyone because I'm a woman. How am I inferior to you, Nissan? In grades and accomplishments and everything, I'm better, so how can you look down on me when you have nothing I lack except the fact that you're a man? It's about knowing one's place. Every day I have been raised with the readiness of one who would be head. In the future, that preparation will surely become essential. But you are different. Even though you will marry and lose the Ushiromiya family name, you're being trapped by this unnecessary illusion. What's your complaint? Even if you had been born a man, the successor to the headship still probably wouldn't have been you. Why are you so unsatisfied that you insist on attacking me even now? What's my complaint, you say? Nissan, you're always like that. Looking down on me because you'll succeed the head, even though... What's my complaint, you say? I've got a billion of them. Grudges, hard feelings, humiliations that I'll never forget keep floating through the back of my mind. They all built up at the same time, coming out of my throat as a shameful moan. What's all this noise? God isn't the only one who holds silence as a virtue. Father. He probably overheard our sibling fight. Father entered with a clearly unhappy face. Kraus, are you fighting with your siblings again? Why don't you have the dignity to act as a leader for your brother and sister? How shameful. I'm embarrassed to hear this from my eldest son. In a flash, he struck Kraus's face. I readied myself to be struck in the same way, but I wasn't hit. My apologies, Father. Dignity isn't the only thing you lack. There's much more. You're immature in everything, and even so, you pretend like you're an adult. Realize that it's 100 years too early for you to talk like that and devote yourself to your studies. Don't make me lament my son's incompetence anymore. Yes, I will continue to strive so that I can become a person worthy of succeeding you, Father. It was as if those words were directed at me. Even when he was being yelled at by Father, he was still bragging to me about who was special, about how he was the successor. I just couldn't stand it, and finally spoke what was on my mind, even though I realized it would be improper for a member of the Ushurimiya family to do such a thing. Father, please tell me how I'm inferior to him. I've tried so hard, studied so hard to become a person who won't bring shame to your name. Please, tell me how I'm inferior. How can I improve myself enough to earn your acknowledgement? That again? How many times do I have to say it before you'll understand? I expect nothing from you. Women should be women and just learn how to cook and sew. You aren't prepared at all as a woman. In you, I don't see a trace of the mindset needed to serve one's husband, to earnestly devote oneself to a man's needs. What good are you as a woman? Don't you realize that you're a daughter of the Ushurimiya family? And yet you only want to learn things so that you can act like a man. Your duty is not to imitate Kraus? Don't you even understand your own duty? As a member of the Ushurimiya family, I won't bring shame to your... That's it. That's where you're already wrong. Your duty is to marry out of the family and bring me a man who is profitable to me. And then you will devote yourself to your husband, give birth to children, and multiply. Be a good wife who brings praise to your husband's family. Just what is it that you can do to please a man? Do you think you can make tea? Do you have any talent in cooking? You have nothing. All you've done is try and mimic Kraus, haven't you? Kraus will succeed the Ushurimiya family. If you are unsatisfied with that, then you are disobeying me. Are you saying you'll refuse to listen to what I say, even though you're my daughter? Get out. You're disinherited. I won't let you call yourself an Ushurimiya. Disinherited. Disinherited! Father, hang in there. Please, calm down. Genji-san, could you bring some water? Yes, immediately. Eva, leave this place. He doesn't mean what he says. I will calm him down. Disinherited. If you won't listen to me, you're disinherited. Father was coughing pretty badly, and Nii-san patted his back, as if it was a duty that was naturally his. It was so vexing for me to let him take that duty all for himself right then. If I carelessly approached Father at that moment, then I would probably be the one to get hit next. However, I fearlessly tried to approach Father's back. Genji blocked me. Eva-sama, perhaps it would be better if you stepped outside for now. The master's not in a good mood today. But... why are my children so incompetent? Kraus is lacking in dignity, Eva is always a stubborn tomboy, I have no son who's like a man and not even a daughter who's like a woman. Where did I go wrong raising them? Why, Genji? When and where did I go wrong? Master, you haven't done anything wrong. Kraus-sama has grown into a sturdy son and Eva-sama into a lovely daughter. You haven't made any mistakes. How can you say that? What's so lovely about her? Far from a lady, she's always acting like a man. Disinherited. Disinherited! Father, that's just what I'm always telling Eva. Eva has promised that she will have a change of heart and act like a lady. Couldn't you postpone that decision for just a little longer? Who's a lady? Disinherited! Disinherited! Go quickly and leave this to me. Kraus gave me a look telling me that. Did I take the wrong path just like Father and Nissan said? True, I never studied how to be a lady. Everything I've learned was done in the hopes that I could help Father someday. But is that really true? Haven't I always been trying to compete with Nissan, with whom I'd had a bad relationship since I was a young girl because I wanted to steal his position as successor and show him a thing or two? Every chance he gets, Nissan tells me that men should be manly and women should be womanly. I've been tormented by this unfair discrimination just because of my gender, something people are born with and can't do anything about. I resisted endeavoring to this very day to study and prove that I'm not inferior, despite being a woman, but doesn't that mean that my love of learning comes entirely from a stupid complex I've got against Nissan? Father wanted me to become a lady with whom he could go out in public and not be embarrassed. Did I betray his hopes, earning good grades and threatening Nissan just to satisfy a childhood resentment? Baby Ava, that's not it. You swore to me, saying I will become the successor to the Ushirimiya family. You, the one whispering to me, was the me of my years as a young girl, born inside my heart on the day I made that oath. That's right. She was my only ally. When things got difficult, when I felt like I was about to get crushed by it all, she would always quietly appear and support me. When I ran into roadblocks and despaired, she would always appear and support me. When I grew up and the memories of my childhood years faded, I also started to forget my conversations with her. I, Ushirimiya Eva, will definitely become the head of the Ushirimiya family, and I'll triumph over that irritating, arrogant Kraus. On that day, we promised to do our best together to achieve that. That's right, we promised. On that day, I promised that I would become the successor to the Ushirimiya headship. On that day, when I had been overcome with sadness, wondering why I was even alive, you appeared from inside me and lent me your strength. Father didn't accept me. I wanted to teach Nissan a lesson. I believed that doing this would let me say goodbye to the wretched creature I once was. For a time, I truly believed that my life had no purpose other than to be looked down upon by Nissan. It's painful just remembering those days. They're a wound, a crack inside my heart. She taught me how to sew up that wound. I turned my anger into effort and improved myself, trying to become a person more worthy of the headship than Kraus was, trying to triumph over him by making Father accept me. It was my perfect revenge. I was vaguely aware that a woman couldn't possibly become the family head, but I thought that maybe if I could prove myself valuable enough to overturn that premise, then surely even Father could select me to be his successor. If that happened, then I'd be able to have the greatest and most perfect revenge against Nissan, who always acted like his succession to the headship was completely inevitable. That's right. If we can manage that, the wounds in our heart will be healed. We promised each other to do our best until that day comes. And now you're saying that you're gonna break that promise? Scum. Coward. If only you'd just give up and die. Even though she looked like me as a kid, she was still another me. Her tongue was sharp because it was mine. It makes me pretty mad hearing that even from myself. You have no right to speak of me like that. Then let's use that anger to fuel our learning. Changing anger into power is my magic. I've saved you from a bunch of tight spots with that power, letting you succeed when you shouldn't have. As long as you have my magic, there's nothing you can't do. That's right. Anger has always been my driving force. I wonder when it was that I forgot that. If you can remember me again, that magic will become ours once more. Come on, let's turn that anger into power and study even harder, okay? I know we've still got a lot to learn. Let's go to college, study more and more, get excellent grades, and drive Kraus into a corner. That guy acts like we're nothing, but I'm sure he feels pretty well cornered on the inside. If only he'd just learn his place and die. If he did, we could become the head. Rudolph won't take the job. That kid can't go against us. Stop that. No matter how much more I study, Father still won't accept me. Why not? Father told me to be womanly. Because I'm a woman, no matter how hard I tried, Father wouldn't have passed the headship on to me. Even if I had been born before Nissan. No matter how much effort I put in, I can't become anything more than a woman. I won't be acknowledged. Nissan doesn't try at all, but I can't surpass him. He'll look down on me forever. Father and Kraus are the worst kind of male supremacists. If only they just die. She cursed them for my sake. Words that I couldn't say so easily, she said them for me. Even though I understand that she's just another part of myself inside of me, I feel like she's the only ally that I have who can sympathize with me. However, while sympathy might do a lot to calm my heart, it won't do anything to improve my current situation. In the end, she can only console me for however long it takes to be dejected by reality, before I finally accept it. Thank you. You've done enough. Now that it's come to this, I'll become such a good lady that it'll shock even Father. I'll find an excellent man that Nissan can't even compare to. You can't do that. She rejected my timid thoughts. I understand. Because she is me. I understand. All Father said is that he wouldn't let a woman succeed the headship now. But even that's just a rule Father made up. Since he made it, he can get rid of it. Human feelings can change far more often than the number of sand grains on a beach. Kraus is such a stupid man that Father's eventually going to realize it even if we don't prove it for him. When that happens, the wall that separates man from woman will be demolished by Father himself, who set it up in the first place. That day will surely come. How can you be so sure? Because that's my magic. If you just believe this magic will surely summon a miracle, the basis of my magic is nothing more than your believing heart. If I use this magic, then surely I'll never have to doubt until the day I die that I'll eventually become the head. But I don't know if that's the right thing for Ishirimiya Eva. Maybe I should aim to become the kind of lady Father wants, someone who can proudly participate in high society. And if I'm reborn, maybe Father will change his opinion of me. Maybe I can find my own lifestyle just as Nissan has found his. And anyway, I just can't imagine my stubborn father choosing a woman like me as the head, especially if it means skipping over Kraus. You don't believe? I was just thinking, maybe I can't succeed the headship, but as a woman I can have a child, and Nissan still isn't engaged. If Nissan isn't able to father a child and I give birth to one, then wouldn't that make my child the next head after Nissan? In other words, wouldn't that mean the same thing as stealing the headship from Nissan? Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. True, it'll be very sad to abandon the resolve I had since childhood. It pains my heart to betray you, my younger self. But this is my most realistic option. Are you throwing away your dreams? And me as well? I'm not throwing anything away. I'm an adult and the day has come for me to part ways with you. That's right. Eva's already become an adult. She's even forgotten how to use magic, and now she's the mother of a single child. She forgot all about how magic can grant one's dreams, and now she's forcing those dreams onto her son. Even though Father and Kraus ruined your life, you're trying to push your dreams onto your son, ruining his life. Is that what you call being an adult? George is a son I'm proud of, one who won't embarrass himself no matter where he goes. The dream I wasn't granted might come true for George. Jessica's a delinquent in both her grades and her behavior, and she's a woman. If only Jessica would step down, George would become the heir. Even saying it was painful. Am I just forcing my own regrets onto George? It's not like I have any right to look on Jessica with scorn. Wasn't I just horrible for hitting her with the same words that had caused me so much suffering? I understand. The desire to triumph over my brother is part of my own personal revenge. I can't use George for that. So I'll take revenge myself. I have a plan to cheat Nissan out of some of his money with Rudolph and Rosa as my allies. I'll surely be able to get back at him. In any case, I'm sure that Nisan is embezzling father's assets. What a boring plan. Why don't you just give up on that and cry yourself to sleep? We will become the Oshirimiya family head. Don't mistake what your dream is. And believe me when I say it will definitely come true. Believe in my magic. If I believe, I wonder if any power will dwell in that magic. It will. My magic can grant any wish with certainty. I'll believe. I'll believe, so create a miracle with that magic. If you don't, the hole in my heart will never heal. Okay, then listen well. Listen to my magic words. And understand. If we can solve the riddle, we can become the Oshirimiya family head. So lend me your ears and listen carefully. Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved hometown. You who seek the golden land, follow its path downstream in search of the key. Eva-ne-san, it looks like we're about to arrive. When Kiara shook her shoulders, Eva jumped and awoke from her doze. I'm sorry. I was half asleep. Sorry to scare you. Eva, you were out cold. Did you get up early this morning? Maybe. I let you all see something embarrassing. I'm sorry. Well, I'd say it's pretty impressive you were relaxed enough to sleep. Valor kept yelling, "We're gonna fall! We're gonna drown! Can't get bored with this guy around." Shut up! All humans have at least one thing they're weak against. Valor and Jessica came in, messing around. Rudolph also made a face as if asking, "Are you okay?" Get a hold of yourself. When you see Dad and the rest, all that sleepiness will go right out the window. Let's all give it our best, okay? That's right. We have to keep it together, especially this year. That's it. Let's all tighten our assholes and go. Rudolph said these strict words in a small voice that only Eva could hear. Failure would not be tolerated in this year's family conference. All of their companies were hanging in the balance. Even Rudolph's face looked a little tense. Ava's expression probably looked tense as well. Mom, I have our luggage. Let's go up onto the deck. Thank you. You really are considerate, George. Why are you thanking me so suddenly? It's not like you, Mother. Ava, George, we're there. Grab our luggage. We're there. Hey, Maria, stop running or you'll trip. It seemed Maria was already getting excited. She ran circles around Hideyoshi, escaping from Rosa, who was trying to catch her. What is it, Mother? Do you feel sick? George, take our luggage and go on ahead. Your mother's probably feeling anemic, so I'll lend her a hand. Really? Okay, I'll head up first. Something odd in Ava's expression told Hideyoshi that it hadn't been a pleasant awakening, so he made George go on ahead. Rudolph's family and Rose's family also went up onto the deck, leaving only Ava and Hideyoshi inside the boat. Ava had a vague expression on her face, as though she still hadn't been able to escape from her daydream. What's wrong? Why the meek face? I wonder if I'm using George as a tool for my own revenge. I wonder if my childish hostility towards Nisan has caused me to treat that child's life like a toy. What have I done? What have I... That isn't true. George is our wonderful son, and he'll always perform admirably wherever he goes. Ava, even if you let your own hopes get in the way a bit, everything turned out okay in the end, hasn't it? You haven't done anything wrong. In fact, George is grateful for the strict discipline you gave him, right? Really? Hey, really? George doesn't think I'm a terrible mother, does he? Does he? Does he? He's never said anything like that. Not even once. You're just worrying too much. Hideyoshi-sama, everyone has left the boat. Oh, did you lose something? Do you need a hand? Kumasawa had come to check on them when they hadn't gone up to the deck. Hideyoshi hid Ava behind his back so that her expression wouldn't be seen. Yeah, sorry. My necktie pin just got a bit crooked. We're fine and we'll be out in a sec. Wait outside for us. Is that so? Oh, then I will wait outside. Even though she didn't really understand, Kumasawa realized that something had come up and disappeared so that she didn't trouble them further. If they stayed here any longer, they would probably make everyone else worry too. It's about time to go. We'll make George and the rest worry. George really doesn't despise me? Yeah, nothing of the sort. In fact, he's very grateful. Did you have a nightmare? Again? Yes. Hideyoshi knew that Eva was often tormented by nightmares, and they always grew more marked on the days leading up to the family conference. Hideyoshi knew that Eva's relationship with Kraus was still full of antagonism to the point of being traumatic, and that she still couldn't let go of the feelings that she'd had as a child. That was a dream. I'm with you now. If I grasp your hand like this, that dream will go away. Right? Look. Look, I'm holding tight. That hurts. Thank you. I'm fine now. Let's get off the boat. Yeah, let's get off the boat. Everyone's waiting for us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I yelled at you about the smoke from your cigarettes just now. Come on, you normally wouldn't apologize for that sort of thing. You're all frail after having that dream. Don't worry about it. I was wrong for not realizing the smoke was affecting you. Have you started to hate me? No way, no way! If I hated you after something like that, we wouldn't have lasted 3 days. Come on, stand up. Let's get off the boat. Hideyoshi and Eva have a very beautiful relationship. I mean, even if they didn't, like, you know, it was a politically expedient marriage, but it's true. Like, he loved her enough to take her family name. Hideyoshi-sama, Eva-sama, is everything alright? Are you not feeling well? This time it was good, It looked like they kept everyone waiting too long after all. Even Eva had to stand up without grumbling now. She had to stop forcing her bad mood onto her husband and causing him any more trouble, because that wasn't something a good wife would do. Is everything okay? If it's a matter concerning your health, shall I call Dr. Nanjo? Thanks, but I'm just feeling a little anemic. I'm fine now. It's a woman's disease. Don't worry about it. Come on. Don't say stuff like that in front of people. It's embarrassing. Oh, sorry. Eva elbowed Hideyoshi in the gut. By that time, her normal expression had returned, which allowed Hideyoshi to relax a little. Having your husband pull the period card. The bright sunlight outside almost made her dizzy. A small plank for getting off the boat was lowered, and Goto was waiting there, smiling and ready to lend them a hand. Please, Eva-sama, your hand. Thank you. Welcome to Rokkenjima. Welcome back. Okay. I think that's a reasonable stopping point. It's almost exactly 2 hours. We're back. We just landed back on Rokkenjima. I'm gonna save it in a spot where I'll remember where to save it. I'll just put it... I'll put it in this corner. Okay, I think now I remember what the general theme of this episode is, and it's very good. Very, very good. I mean, Kraus is pretty unpopular amongst his siblings, and yeah, he's totally a dick, and nobody likes him, and he's really mean, but he also has a lot of time to live as the eldest son before any of them were born, and to shoulder all of Kinzo's expectations. So I think at least for himself, like, he didn't really want them to have to deal with that stuff. And if he surrendered his position, like, his life would just be ruined, so... like there'd just be nothing else you could do. Anyway, so thanks for tuning in. I'm really, really excited to share this episode as well. And he is a little dumb. They're both a little dumb. Is this the episode where Natsuhi and Eva kiss? We already got, what is it? We got Hideyoshi and Rudolph off to the side, and Natsuhi and Eva off to the other side. Thanks to the advertising bot. Okay. What little thing should we go next? Well, so many people playing and watching Umineko right now. But to raid from Umineko into Umineko would be totally crazy, so I'm not gonna do that. But I'm not gonna do it this time. Maybe when we're towards the end. So, okay, let's see. Of course it's Farmer Squall time. Wait, they have avatars out this time. So cute. Let's go. Alright, thanks guys. I'll see you next time.